Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Worship Drumming. This is a channel where I teach popular worship songs on the drums. I also have a new video series where we kind of step away from the drums and look at the Bible and talk about some great things there. And also on this channel, I teach drum lessons based around a worship-centered context, which is exactly what we're doing today. This video is about how to start songs, and this all comes from a viewer by the name of Ted Stuff. Ted Stuff left a comment on a video saying, "A video on starting worship songs would be amazing." You're absolutely right, Ted Stuff, and that's what I'm here to do today. This one and the fills are great as well, but as a new worship drummer, I'm always unsure how to start. That can be kind of a daunting task whenever, especially if you're the new person. I've been there before, like, hey, new guy playing drums, I got a drummer now. You're going to go ahead and start. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So we're going to try to fix that today. I told him I was on vacation, but I'd make this video when I got back. So this is me making the video for you, Ted Stuff. He said that's amazing and that he subbed. You could also subscribe too. It's pretty easy. I asked him if he had any specific songs in mind, and he said, I don't, unfortunately. I have basic beats and fills down. It's just starting different songs for the rest of the band and choir. I usually start by coming in with a cymbal build into a money beat or just starting into a money beat. Not really sure how else to start a song. So a couple things we need to talk about here before we get into breaking down all of these different intro little things I'm going to show you today. Notice that what Ted Stuff seems to be dealing with, he or she is dealing with a band and a choir, I'm assuming. Sometimes they might be separate. I'm glad you put that in there, because it really varies depending on what you're doing. So if you're playing with a choir, I'm going to assume for the most part, you're playing some more upbeat stuff. If you're playing with a band, you're still doing upbeat stuff, but you also might be doing some more calm down, relaxed, mellow stuff, but you could also do the same thing with a choir. It's very important to understand what you are working with before you start on these. So we'll try to keep those in mind, and I'll try to reference those as we go through here. Let's go ahead and move the camera, and let's start breaking down some different ways we can start worship song. So the good news, Ted Stuff, is that you were not very far off on what is considered a good way to start a song. That's actually what I do a lot. So some of the ideas, once again, that he gave was playing a cymbal swell into a money beat or just kind of hopping in with a money beat. So you don't have to completely change what you're doing. These are really good ways to start. Sometimes all we have to do is take ideas we already have and then just add a couple things to them. So we're going to start with taking your ideas and then building upon them, and then I'll try to throw some new ideas your way. So starting off, let's go with a pretty common one that is pretty useful, and that's doing a cymbal swell, just dropping into a normal beat. So what that would sound like would just be like this. We're playing some cymbal swells. Then we're going to go to the beat. Pretty standard overall. Not bad, but we can spice it up a little bit. So instead of just having to completely throw this away and come up with a new idea, let's just throw a fill in this time. So a fill, it can be on 4, it could be on 3, it could be on the and of 3. There's a lot of different things we could do. So let me show you one where we're going to throw in a fill in on 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that cymbal swell, and then all we're going to do is just do a flam kick and then jump into the beat. So we're going to be playing, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So I would do this on a much faster paced song. So if a song had a really fast tempo, I'd be playing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that works for your songs that are typically played a little bit faster. And you notice I also added some 4 on the floor there to kind of get everyone feeling the rhythm of what we're getting ready to hop into. They feeling those quarter notes where they're all going to land, getting that tempo down. With that as well, like I said, we could also throw in like on the and of 3. So this is a common thing that I'll do if we start sort of a song that's like fast, but it's not fast enough. What I like to do is I like to play a cymbal swell on my crash cymbal, and then I'll play and 4E and So once again, it'd be like a cymbal swell, 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and hit a swell, throw a little fill in, and then jump right into what I would play as like the intro beat. So it'd be something like this. I'm going to try not to whack my mic stand as I do it. 1E and a 2E and a 3E. So once again, just swell and then drop into that And that's a pretty good way as well. So like I said, you don't have to throw out your ideas. You can always reuse ideas and just throw some different fills in. If there's other fills that you might like better, by all means, go ahead and do so. That's just an idea. Throw a fill in there. And plus, even if you don't have a metronome, when you do that fill, as long as the people playing are decent musicians, they should be able to know, like, okay, hey, I need to jump in right now because that fill just happened, and then we're all going to hit that one together, and it's going to be really awesome. And it is awesome when it happens. So the next one that we're going to talk about, let's just talk about starting out with the beat. So if we're going to start out with just a beat, we can do that, but we need to kind of throw in some indicator that, hey, I'm playing this beat, and now everyone else needs to hop in. So if I'm playing a beat and I'm just going, and then everyone's waiting to hop in, if I don't really do anything special, I know I did a couple variations there. If I don't do anything special, no one really knows when to come in, but I want to make it obvious when everyone needs to come in. So maybe I want to play a couple bars of a beat, and then I'm going to do something very obvious that lets everyone know when to come in. So here's an example. I'm going to play a beat, then I'm going to play a small little build, and then everyone would know right when they need to jump in. So if you were playing a guitar, you would have no doubt as to when to jump in there. As soon as I started doing that little bit of a build, you would know, okay, hey, everyone's about to come in. Another way you could do this is by cymbal swelling. So maybe you're not playing something in the pocket. Maybe you're doing something on the toms. There's a song, I can't remember the name of that I used to play, but it kind of started on the toms and kick. It'd be like, then to cue everyone, I'm going to play a swell. So that little cymbal swell there breaks everything up and lets everyone know, hey, it's time to come in. It's time for everyone to jump in. So there's an idea whenever you're playing that money beat. Play some sort of build. Do some sort of cymbal swell. Throw in some sort of maybe longer fill that lets everyone know it's time for all of us to start playing together in unison. So good way also to start. Now let's talk about some different ways to start songs. So as I probably should have talked a little bit more as I went through this, is that Ted Stuff is talking about playing with a choir, which can be much different. You're probably playing faster paced stuff, but this should be working with a choir or with a band, either one really. Another good way is that if you are playing with a choir and you're playing a faster paced song, there ain't nothing wrong with a good old fashioned stick click to get into a song. So if you're just sitting there and like everyone's waiting to come in, but you want everyone to hit it at the same time, have the drummer just 2, 3, 4. There's nothing wrong with that, and that can work, and that's actually very effective. I've never started a song like that personally, but I have played a longer song where there's this really long break in it, and we were having a difficult time because we didn't have a click track. We were having a difficult time coming in and everyone hitting that part at the same time, and so we messed it up so many times when it was live. So when we were playing it, I didn't do this at all during practice, but we were playing it, we were on the break. As soon as we hit the break, I was just kind of lightly clicking my sticks so everyone could hear when we're coming in. So we were playing, we hit a break, and I was like, so it was very obvious. Everyone could still hear it, but it's not like it ruined the song or anything, especially if you're just starting a song. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Also, notice that I could also do the stick click and then just throw in another fill. So I could be doing a stick click and then just do that same flam kick that I did earlier. So like 1, 2, 3. There's nothing wrong with doing that if you have to do it. It's mainly up between you and the people that you're playing with as to what they think would be most effective. All right, now we've talked a lot about fast songs and kind of our medium-paced songs as well. Let's talk about some of our slower songs and what do we do whenever we want to start those. So with a lot of our slower songs, we're just going to do cymbal swells into cymbal taps. At our church, this is just a funny name we call it. We call it Tasties and Tinglies, where you're just kind of using your cymbals. I don't know why we call it that. It's just ridiculous and a funny name for it. So if I was starting off a slower song, I could come in with a cymbal swell, and then I'll just like keep quarter notes on my ride. So I'll be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And notice that I threw in a couple extra rhythmic taps there to keep everyone in time. That's absolutely fine, so it doesn't get too boring. You could also just do eighth notes, so as you swell in. So just playing light there on your ride cymbal. Another thing you could do is you could come in with that swell. You could give some floor tom hits or kick drum hits, so you could be kind of swelling in. And then, you know, play some little cymbals and all that stuff in there. That's all really good ways. So what I would say to do, especially if you're a church that does not use a click track, I would do the swell and then like hit some sort of bass in that, and either be the kick or the floor tom. Because if I'm just swelling, it's kind of hard to tell when I'm going to stop if I don't give some clear indication that I'm stopping. So sometimes that could be a little floor tom hit or a little kick drum hit, like. Lots of little things you can do to start off a song. The main part to start a song is that everyone's got to know when to play and what tempo you're playing at. For me, at my church, it's the click track. The click track tells everyone exactly when to start, and so we all know when to start, and we all know the tempo. At your church, it might be that you have a drummer who's just got to start the song himself or herself. Well, all you got to do then is you got to play something that's going to fit the music. It's going to let everyone know the tempo, and it's going to easily bring everyone in at the same time when everyone needs to start coming in at the same time. So, Ted Stuff, I hope this was helpful to you. I hope this was helpful to anyone else as well who was trying to find a good way to start some worship songs. Subscribe below if you're interested in more content like this in the future. Leave a thumbs up if you learned something new. Also, leave any questions or suggestions you have in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.